My name is Nthomiwa. I'm the head for Trade Remedies and Import and Export Control in Botswana Trade Commission. Botswana Trade Commission is mandated to control imports and exports, and this is contained in the Botswana Trade Commission Act. This is the act that establishes the commission. So the commission is still in the process of developing regulations through which the act will be implemented as far as the control of imports and exports is concerned. Currently, as I said, the Commission is developing regulations, but we draw our mandate mainly from the Grandfather Agreement. This is the Control of Goods, Prices and Other Charges Act, which is under the Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry. We regulate import and export so as to protect the local manufacturing industry. We just have to make sure that they are able to compete in a fair market. So that is why imports are controlled. The same with exports. Exports are controlled. There are those products that are being controlled to ensure that our local industry have the necessary raw material. We have to make sure that they have been supplied with their requirements before the raw materials can be exported. Botswana Trade Commission it's our responsibility, but at the same time we don't do this alone. So Botswana Trade Commission will have strategic alliances with other agencies. There are other departments, these are government departments and ministries which are currently doing the control of goods and so on. So Botswana Commission is not going to do all this by itself. So we will be working very closely with other agencies across government. As we control imports, we are actually drawing from Botswana Trade Commission Act, but at the same time, we are cognizant of the fact that Botswana is a signatory to international trade agreements. These are bilateral agreements, the regional agreements, and the multilateral agreements. Because as we do this, we have to make sure that Botswana, as a country, we continue abiding by our obligations in this international trade agreement. So as we do the control of both imports and exports, we actually take into account the fact that international trade agreements have the general exception clause. From the general exception clause, a country can control imports or exports taking into account issues of public morals, the availability and access of the necessary goods, especially good foodstuffs. The issues of food security are being taken into account. Control is also done for protecting national treasures like issues of artistic, archaeological treasures for the country. Those are some of the goods that are being protected under the import and export control, and this is provided for in the article on general exceptions in each and every international agreement that we have. So we do have experience as far as controlling imports and exports, because currently there are those goods that are being controlled. Amongst them, we control salt. This is just to make sure that it is packaged locally to promote economic activity in the country. We also have control of bottled water, just to make sure that this is done by companies that are established in the country. These are just some of the examples that we have. And when it comes to export, we have the control of scrap metal. Scrap metal is being controlled. This is for export purposes, just to make sure that our foundries are supplied with their requirements before scrap metal is exported to other countries. Currently, as countries are fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, we have had to put in place a rebate facility 412.11. This is where goods that are coming from outside for purposes of controlling the disease, the goods are being controlled in that we are allowing those goods to come in duty-free and VAT-free. And this is being implemented by BOTC. This is also done in line with the fact that international agreements have that allowance, that in case of emergencies, in case of serious agency, then imports can be controlled. So when we look at import and export control, we find that this is where we have the merging or the coming together of national legislation, because we have, like I have mentioned, the Control of Goods, Prices and Charges Act. We refer to it because, as we said, BOTC is still developing its legislation. So we take into account that we have international trade agreements that we are obliged to implement, and also take into account how it affects other partners. Because in international trade agreements, we have to ensure fairness and also transparency. So whatever we do, we make sure that our partners are aware of what we are doing. For more information on import and export control, visit our website.